Welcome to the Snapdragon Stadium. It's match day 2 of Manchester United's Tour of America, and today it's Real Betis in the Snapdragon Cup. Danny Webber, welcome.
Nice to be here.
We've been to San Diego before. Let's start with the scenery, the setting, the weather. It's glorious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful arena. Obviously no roof because the weather's so good. But yeah, the stadium itself is great, and there's always a nice surprise or two. Last year the planes came over and they had the big flag out and the anthem was sung with real passion, and you know, I'm sure there'll be something in store today.
I think if we look just to our left, that's your right, then you can see they're getting ready. There's lots happening. I think we've got a flyover. That's some sort of big flag. Looks like the American flag to me. I'm not an expert in rolled up flags, but that's what I reckon. What about you?
Yeah, I'd go with that. Yeah, it looks like it, red, white and blue.
Guy knows his vexology. Let's talk about this game of football. What's the manager looking for today?
I think more intensity. You know, it's time to start ramping it up now. He'll be getting most likely an hour, 70 minutes out of some players, I'd assume. And, you know, he'll want to see the intensity. He'll want to see quality on the ball and make sure that we win the game. I think winning habits are really important.
In terms of the style of the win, the style of the play, if we win, of course, does that matter? It's really difficult, isn't it? Is it the balance of getting minutes in the legs, getting everybody fit, but also playing the right kind of football and actually winning the game?
Well, it does matter, yeah. I think the style does matter, and the intensity matters. There's no point winning a football match where you limp along and just win it. It doesn't feel like you're fulfilling your potential as a team. So yeah, of course, you know, you want to do it, and you want to do it in style, and you want to do it showing the progress that you're making. And I think the new coaches in Rene and Ruud will also want to see progress since they've been in the building.
We're going to have team news for you as soon as it breaks. We'll share that with you. Danny, do you think we'll learn anything from the team news about the season, which is starting very soon now?
Not really. I don't think there's any clues to be had. As much as anything, it's about the minutes. You've got to bear in mind we've got players who are still not back in the building. I know they're back in some of them are back in at Carrington, but they're not here at the moment. So it's not going to bear any relevance on the starting team once we look at the Community Shield. Okay, right, Dennis Irwin is about to join us, and the match is ready to be built up to as we close down to kick off in the Snapdragon Cup. Here we are then, two people that need absolutely no introduction with Danny and I now. Our manager, Erik ten Hag, and legend, Dennis Irwin. Erik, let's start with the obvious. We're in San Diego. We're back at the Snapdragon. It's a magnificent stadium. Are you excited to see your team play here again?
Sure. We already had a great experience in LA, and now playing again in this stadium. Last season we played here as well. See, it's a brilliant stadium, very open. It will be a perfect ambience tonight.
We're all really excited by the team news. I was just wondering, from your perspective, what is the challenge between trying to pick a team for the game tonight, the Snapdragon Cup, but also thinking ahead and thinking about the Community Shield, which is soon, and then Fulham on the 16th of August?
Yeah, more objectives as one. Of course, first important is work on the K model, practice, get the patterns in, but also get minutes in the legs of the players. And then everyone can prove himself as well. So more than one objective, I would say.
Yeah, 4 pre-season in, a bit more experienced players starting today.
Yes, some returning. They had a longer run into the pre-season, but now they have to come because, yeah, in 10 days we play an important game. In almost 2 weeks we go into the league, and then everyone have to be fit. You need some match minutes in the legs.
For the opposite end of the spectrum, like Harry and Mass, obviously he's the young player starting today. How good is it for him to be playing amongst the experienced players?
That is a very good experience, and it's when you have to keep your head up in a young team is so much more difficult than with good players around you. They will help them, they will support you, but of course also you have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
But it's I think a very good opportunity for them.
Speaking of the opportunities, last question and I'll let you go. I know you're a very busy man. What are you hoping to see from your team today?
We play against a very good side. Spanish football was very strong in general. We play against a team always good in the Spanish league as well, a very experienced manager as well. so you will, for sure, you have a good test. And so after this game, we know more. We know more about the team, we know more about the players, and it's a very good test. Again, we're looking forward.
Eric, thank you so much. We're going to take those quotes now, and I'll get Danny and Den to explain to everybody what you were talking about. So feel free if you want to go. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, right. So let's talk. Danny, you were asking about Harry Maas there specifically. Talk to us about what you think he's going to have to do today.
No, I think, you make a good point. You're playing with all the experienced professionals. It's not like it's half a team of young players and half a team of seasoned professionals. The habits that he'll pick up, the language they'll be speaking to him in, it'll be, expecting things of him, but helping in the same way. And just looking around and knowing the support you've got is really important, but it accelerates your learning as a young player.
I mean, this is absolutely ideal because stood next to you is someone who knows a fair bit about that position.
No, listen, he had a fantastic season last season in the ratings. This is progression. The manager wants to see what he's like on a bigger stage. Now, he's in with a lot of experienced players in around him as well, and that two centre-halves who are playing tonight. He's got to show that he's more than capable of dealing with this atmosphere, this pressure. And yeah, I think it's a perfect environment for him because I know myself, Dan, if I was going in as a young lad, I'd want as many experienced players around me as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's shown a lot of promise, so hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think a lot of time, I liken him a little bit to Luke Shaw in his style. He's not massive, but he's powerful enough. He uses the ball really well, so I'm excited to see how he does tonight.
Den, I don't want to put loads of pressure on him because he's here on this tour. Luke Shaw's not here. Tyrell Malacia's not here. So when the season starts, what do you think are his aspirations, his goals?
Well, the first thing I'd say is that this is kind of one of the few chances you get as a young lad to go and perform with the first team level, because when the season's up and running, and hopefully Luke will be flying and Malacia will come back fairly quick, the opportunities might be limited. So this is an opportunity for him to play and see how he gets on. But he'll have aspirations to go as high as possible. He's, as I said, he had a fantastic season last season. The youth team had a fantastic year last year, the under-18s, and you're just looking for progression. As Danny said, the way he plays is very much like Luke Shaw. He's got Luke's build. But I just think coming in here today, and they're up against a really good side, as the manager said. Real Betis are a good footballing side, and you have to be patient when you play these sides. But it's another learning curve for him, another learning game. And let's hope he does really well, because I thought he did really well against Arsenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, if you are watching and you haven't actually got the team news yet, I can confirm that Harry Maas is starting, and we can find out who else is starting today in the Snapdragon Cup. We'll start with Manchester United. So, Danny, Tom Heaton starts in goal. That's probably a change that a lot of people didn't expect. What do you think about Tom?
I think Tom's exceptional as a goalkeeper and as a man. I think he's the sort of person you need in your squad. And he's been unfortunate not to get more minutes over the last couple of years. And I think testament to the type of character that he is. He ends up going with England in the summer to the Euros to be around the goalkeepers there. So, good experienced goalkeeper who will lead out there.
We'll have a look and talk about the front three shortly, because it'll be interesting to see who's playing in which position. But before we do that, I want to talk about the experience of the spine of the team. Victor and Harry at centre-back. Then we've got Casemiro, Scott McTominay and Christian Eriksen all through the middle of the pitch. How important is that, and how much does it say about our squad that we're able to pull on these internationals like that?
Well, I mean, it's brilliant. The manager was talking about players coming back from Euros and other things that were going on. So it gives them an opportunity to get some minutes under the belt. But you want the experience. You're up against a good side here. You want them to get minutes under the belt. The style of play we've talked about throughout the last couple of weeks. You want that to come out a bit more, the way the manager wants you to play. And being experienced players, that helps an awful lot, the younger players around them.
So let's have a look at Real Betis then. It's an interesting one for them because they finished 7th last season in La Liga under Manuel Pellegrini, but since then they've lost their top goal scorer. Isco isn't here for this tour, so people that were excited to possibly see the former Real Madrid star will be slightly disappointed. But there are players that we know. They've got 2 former West Ham players, for example. Danny, what kind of challenge do you think they pose for us, given that the other 2 sides we're playing on this tour we know so well?
No, well, they pose a different challenge in terms of a very technical team. Obviously, we played them last year over in Betis, and they were a good side then. What Pellegrini teams always play good football. They're on the front foot, So, you know, like us, they're in a similar part of pre-season where they're trying to build their fitness. But it'll be a decent game. It'll be a tough challenge and one that raises the levels again.
Do you agree with that, Dan?
Absolutely. I think whenever we play against Spanish sides, we have to play slightly different. They're very good technically on the ball. They keep it. Possession-wise, we've seen the Euros where Spain are by far the best team, even though they went into it not really that well known. But yeah, you come up, they finished 7th last season. We've had experience playing against them. Pellegrini, you know, has been in our league. He knows exactly how his team wants to play. So this would be a really good test for us tonight, a test of, you know, being patient, and also when we got the ball to make sure that we use it really well.
Okay, Danny, this is something I think you'll have the expertise in, where Den was the man to talk to about Harry Mas. Talk to us about that front three. Who's going to be operating in which role? We've got Marcus, Ahmad and Jayden.
I think obviously you've got Marcus who can play through the middle, but I don't think they'll disrupt his flow at the moment playing on the left-hand side. I think last season we saw Jadon Sancho playing just off the front as a false 9, and he actually did really well in that position. So that would be my hunch, that Jadon will play through the middle. He'll come off and it give the space for the boys to run in behind at times, and they'll mix it up that way.
Is that what you'd want to see, Dan?
Yes, I think it'd be like that. If you go back to the Cup final team against Manchester City, Scotty was up there, obviously, as with Bruno as a kind of false 9, 9.5. I don't know what you call it these days, 10.5, 11.5. I don't know, a bit different to my day. But I think probably Jayden will play up there and come off and probably try to hold onto the ball and allow maybe Scott or Ahmed to get in behind. But yeah, I'm excited. I think Ahmed's had a fantastic kind of back half to last season. Yes. And on this tour he started really well. So yeah, I mean, I'm with Danny, probably Marcus on the left, Ahmed on the right, and Jayden just playing up front.
Okay, we're going to hear from a player now who isn't starting today, but I think we'll all be surprised if he doesn't get on. It's Mason Mount.
So Mason, we're out here on tour. How have the first few days in Los Angeles been?
Yeah, been brilliant. Good few days of training, obviously preparing for the game now. Always good to come out here, always good to see the fans that come out and support us over here, because they don't get to see us often. So it's definitely a point of ours to give them some time and sign a few autographs and make time for them. So yeah, it's been brilliant so far.
You obviously had a break in the summer. What did you do to rest and recharge?
I did. I had a few weeks I'm with the family, just relaxing and kind of taking a break, and then keeping on it, keeping training, trying to stay active and not obviously take too much time off, because you've got to prepare for the season and got to be in the best position going into pre-season. So I felt like that was a perfect break for me.
Yeah, the manager's spoken about how obviously the time here sets the tone for the summer. So how important is the preparation that we do here in terms of paying off over the whole season?
This is such an important time for us as a group to put the work in, to work at a few different things if we're going into the season trying to do so. Yeah, this is we don't normally get loads of time to prepare for games during the season. You have maybe a few days if you're having 2 games a week. So now we have an extended period of time where we can work at things together and build something, and that's definitely what we've been doing over the last 2 weeks, and then obviously coming out here. So ramping it up, really feeling good in the group, and there's a really good vibe. So yeah, we'll be ready.
Yeah, we've already had a couple of friendlies obviously before travelling here. We played Rosenborg and Rangers. How good was it to get those minutes under your belt?
Yeah, it's always good to get a few minutes in, and I know we've been sharing 45s here and there, and good introduction into game time. Moving forward now, I know we have 3 more games before we have the cup final, so it's about introducing them minutes and trying to get as much out of them minutes as possible, because going into the final, into the cup final, we'll be as ready as possible, and using these games is the most important thing. And as Eric said as well, this is preparation time.
Yeah, you mentioned it was a cup final. Is that how you see in that Manchester City game, as a chance to win another trophy?
Massive game, yeah. It's I feel like it's one that sets the tone of the season. As I said, we're feeling really good, strong, and building every session, and that's a great set. That's a great tone setter going into the season. So we're looking forward to it.
Seeing United fans here, great support. Obviously, wherever you go in the world, you have that great support. How much does that mean to you?
Yeah, as I said, it's they don't get to see us often, so I know they're waking up early doors to watch some of our games when we're playing back home, so now they get to see us, and obviously amazing to see them come out and watch us train today live. So we try and give them as much time as we can, and these games are for them as well.
Pre-season always gives our players a good chance to shine, so how impressed have you been with the academy lads, and how important is this time? How important is it as a young player to come on a tour?
They've all been brilliant. Every single one of them, they come into the training sessions and really show what they can do, and that's so important for the future. It's good for us as senior players to kind of help them a little bit and make them feel comfortable and welcome in the group. As I said, spending as much time together as we can, because it's going to be a long, hard season with a lot of games. So you want to build that bond, you want to be as close as possible, and we're doing that so far. We're getting along very, very well. Even the new boys coming in, trying to integrate them and make them feel as comfortable as possible, because everyone's top boys. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
And the fans here, obviously, they're really excited to see you playing again. The fans online as well.
It means so much to me. I definitely feel this is a fresh start, and I'm in a really good position at the moment. So I can't wait to get on that pitch. Can't wait to try and do the best I can. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I feel strong. I feel fit. So yeah, we'll keep going and we'll keep working hard.
Just finally for you, on an individual level, what do you want to achieve this season?
Yeah, a lot as a group and individually. We know what we can do as a group, and I think we showed it at the end of last season. We definitely have a group that can win trophies, and that's the most important thing. We'll keep trying to do that and stay focused on that goal, because this is Manchester United, and we need to set the bar as high as we can, and we know how high the bar is, and now it's time for us to perform. But we're ready for it, as I said, and as many trophies as we can get, win as many games as we can, and that's our focus throughout the whole group. We're definitely on the same page.
Great to hear from Mason Mount. If you don't start a pre-season game like Mason isn't today, are you disappointed?
I think you're disappointed when you don't start any game, really, but I think you kind of accepted a bit more pre-season because you know the manager's going to chop and change. Listen, we know he never really got going last season because of his injuries, and hence this season's probably more important to him. But the main thing for him is to get through pre-season without an injury, make sure he gets plenty of minutes under his belt, so that come 16th of August, he can be in the manager's plans for that side.
Perfect. Talk to me about the midfield then, because Mason started the previous game in what we would consider the number 10 role, which is where we would normally see Bruno, who's obviously the club captain. Today, Christian starts, but so does Scott. And then you talked about Scott earlier being that player to maybe break the lines and catch goals, and he did that last season. He scored lots of goals. So where do you think the three of them best fit together? And so if Mason had started, who's he in for example? Well,
I think Scott will play higher up. That's what I think. I think Christian will sit with Casemiro and they'll dictate the play from there. And the odd time Christian will go forward and Casemiro will sit. And I think they're intelligent enough once or twice where Casemiro might go forward and Christian will sit. But I think the one who will play higher up, because they've got to support the striker, will be Scott McTominay.
And is that your view of it then? And that's the best view of it?
That's the best view of it. We've got good competition in there. I think the manager's already said it's going to be survival of the fittest because there's so many games this year. You know, you're guaranteed an extra 2 games in Europe. Hopefully we'll do really well in the two domestic cups as well. So there's going to be a lot of games, and you need a big squad. It's as simple as that. And you need competition. And as I said, we hopefully, you know, Mason will get through this pre-season and be able to challenge for that first team place, because it's very competitive there. But that's what the manager wants.
Do you think it's a huge benefit to the side that actually we have so many midfielders that are so versatile, especially in like the 10 and 8 positions where Mason, Bruno, Scott, Christian, and actually people like Ahmad, Jadon, Marcus can be brought in as well?
No, you need competition for places. Getting the balance right is also key. Making sure that, you know, we all know that Bruno's probably the most likely starter in that 10 position. He's the captain of the club and he'll most likely start, but the competition for places is really important, and the flexibility for the manager. Depending on who you're playing against, maybe you need somebody who's a little bit more athletic or more technical or whatever the choice is for the game. So yeah, it's important we have those players, but more than anything, it's keeping them fit.
Then we're talking about this midfield. What are people's roles in this situation where if we're playing with what we assume is going to be a false nine? Does that change the responsibilities of what the players behind are doing?
No, I think yes. Well, obviously it does, because they take up different roles and different positions. You know, if you do play a false nine, if Jayden does play up front and plays a false nine, it probably means Scotty can advance a bit more, and maybe Christian can go a little bit further forward as well. So you have to balance it off with that. But it's good to see competition, and it's good to come up against different styles of football as well, because obviously we've got a lot of games in Europe next season, and it'll be a good test for us. Good experience in there as well. You're mentioning Christian, Casemiro, you know, Mason Mount, Bruno, Scotty, all these are vastly experienced. Cobby, of course, we've not really mentioned either. That is great competition for the manager, and good experience there as well.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to bring this back to San Diego. Now the stadium is slowly starting to fill up. You can see people coming in. It's such a wonderful space. There's so much room for people to engage with what's here in the facilities. But a minute ago, I went outside and spoke to some fans, and the #1 fan I met outside was former Red Billy Garton. We're outside the Snapdragon Stadium right now, where former Red Billy Garton, who lives out here, is putting some players and some fans through their paces, this little coaching exercise. Billy, quickly, before we see it in action, what's the game here?
The game is they've got 3 targets. They can make any one of the Red pug goals, small goals, and if they do that, they win an amazing Manchester United bucket hat. I feel like I'm outside Old Trafford selling club gear, but yeah, so that's the objective, and this young man's going to show us exactly how it's done, and you're going to show me a push pass. Do you know what that means? Inside of your foot. All right, you're going to look at the ball and don't look at the goal, okay? Because your ball's going to be the last thing you see. So push pass right through the ball, win yourself a bucket hat. Here we go. Show them what it's like. Oh, that's class.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Oh! What an effort.
Here we go.
Let's reload it.
Here we go, and he comes in again. Nice angle of approach. Little push.
Oh, it's nice.
Golden.
It's good.
Fantastic.
Here we go.
Right on his head. And here it is. Amazing.
What techers?
Right? I can tell you play by the way you did that. That was amazing. Yeah,
Right,
so.
well, we'll get him signed up.
Yeah.
Billy.
It's a hotbed out here for soccer, as you know, as football, but there's about the 20th kid that looks like he's 5 years of age that comes up and does it absolutely perfectly. So, yeah, delighted to be here, obviously. A bit of a different scene than it would be outside of Old Trafford on most days, where the weather is amazing. And the flip side is that you don't quite get the same atmosphere as you do outside. It's much more of a party, sort of tailgate atmosphere outside games in, well, especially on the West Coast where the weather's great, but it is amazing.
Do you think you could do this at Old Trafford?
What can you ever plan with the weather? I mean, that would be the only obstacle, right? I mean, at least here you get the consistency of the weather, so you know that you're always in with a chance of doing outdoor activities, and that's the beauty of living here. You just can plan based on the months of the year. I'm not sure that you could do that in sunny Manchester, so.
Well, no one knows better than you. You still have the record, I assume, for being the person who grew up and was born closest to Old Trafford to play for the club.
Yeah, I believe I do, and that I'm proud of that, because I lived probably a mile from the stadium when I was a kid. I used to have fans parking in the street where I lived, and we used to call it car minding. Really, what they didn't know is when the game started, I'd leg it to Old Trafford, watch the game, and then run back 10 minutes before the game ended and be stood by their car. So I lived that close that it was doable like that. But obviously proud, I'm from Salford, proud of my local heritage, and, you know, I was the local boy that lived his dream.
And what's it like having United come to San Diego?
I mean, it's amazing for me, first of all, because it continues the connection. My sons are all, and family are all mad United fans, so it keeps them actively involved when they're here. And I really feel like that there's something building again. I think I can feel the wave actually starting to grow again. I do believe that there's been a period where, you know, I never saw a Man City shirt here when I first moved here, and then over the last 10 years, it's just been, you know, too many of them for my liking. But I think that there's something brewing again here for the club. So being out here, being on the West Coast, being in the States, massive market, of course, and I think there's an untapped market here for the club to be able to capitalise on that.
Well, the San Diego Supporters Club obviously exists out here, and yesterday they went out on a boat and just sailed around San Diego, enjoyed all the views, and our new young reporter, Michael Gray, was there to ask the questions.
We are here on a yacht touring around the San Diego Harbor. This is a special VIP cruise just for our wonderful guests of Manchester United. You know, I'm born and raised here. This is my hometown. And when you were first able to come last year, and then coming again this year. My goal was to show off my city and give you a little bit of taste of what Southern California life can be like. So we're cruising around the bay, having some food and some drink, and enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah, I mean, today's brilliant. We got to San Diego early this morning, and the San Diego supporters branch have managed to somehow get us on this fantastic yacht. And they said we're just going to have a nice day cruising around the bay. Pizzas, drinks, you know, what a bunch of people to put this on. But as you can see, it's magnificent, and we're getting to see everything you can see in San Diego.
I mean, most of our games are early morning. If you play midweek, it's usually a lunchtime game for us. But I do like to liken it. You know, Manchester United is something that's so important and passionate in all of our hearts that, you know, it's like a religion to us. And so for us, especially on the weekend games, Sunday mornings, we're going to church. So we're going to church to support a club that we love.
We were at the game in LA the other night. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the stadium was brilliant. We was at Cosm just before, and it was a great turnout from the supporters again. It was a good game. I mean, a lot of the lads got to play for the first time. Like I said, it's difficult in pre-season, as you know, and the lads are just getting up to speed. I know the score finished 2-1, but the penalties is always good to see as well with the fans, and you know, hopefully we don't get too many injuries, and then we can obviously come on to this next game.
When you're in our country, I'm doing everything I can. I won't be able to go to South Carolina, unfortunately, but I was up in LA the whole weekend. Now doing these next few days, we had some local events yesterday as well, and there's a meet and greet after this boat trip today at our local pub where we watch the games, and then of course match day tomorrow.
Well, this is what pre-season's about, isn't it? Getting some of the young kids involved, getting them out here, getting to experience being around the first team.
Yeah, 100%. I did it as a kid. You know, just the experience. You know, some of the young kids will be a bit more open to the others. Some will be shy, but coming on to these sorts of trips, you know, just gets everybody relaxed. Like I said, there's nothing better coming out with the first team, especially on tour, and the manager giving you minutes. And it's a great experience. And like we've seen in the past, you know, these guys could come out and be unbelievable, and before you know it, they're in the first team. This season coming up, for example, like Kobe, you know, and just shows you what can happen.
Here we are then, the Snapdragon. Wes has a tough gig, doesn't he?
He's got a permanent smile on his face. I know that. He really does. Listen, it's a beautiful part of the world. You know, the weather is stunning. The stadiums are amazing. He's out on a boat, enjoying himself. You jealous, Dan?
I was. Yeah, I was.
You get to hang out with me.
Yeah, exactly. What a bonus.
Right, the players have made it out onto the pitch. They're starting to get warmed up and getting prepared. Someone I want to talk to you about is Marcus Rashford. He's spoken about it. The manager's spoken about it. Last season was not his best. What does he do this season to go back to the Marcus we know he is and can be?
Well, I think, and Danny would probably, he will know a lot more about centre-forward play than me, but I do know that, and I've spoke to Coley and Rude, that when you get on a roll, I think when you go out on a football field and play your next match, you almost think you're going to score. I think that's a centre-forward's biggest thing, is confidence. The season before last, he was fantastic. He scored 30+ for us. Last season wasn't quite the same. The team in general struggled as a whole as well, I got to say that. But for him is to get back up and running again, start scoring goals and get that confidence back. On his day, you know, as a full-back, I'd hate to mark him because I know he's quicker than me. You know, if somebody runs at you, I don't care. They're going to cause problems for me. He's got to get that confidence back again, that he starts doing that and starts getting in the right position to score goals. But I think Danny's the man probably to speak to him a bit more about that.
Do you know what? I think when things have not been going your way, you go back to basics, and I think he has to, and he has been, because we've seen it in pre-season, going back to the basics of getting in the right areas, running at people. You know, if it doesn't quite work out, you go again and you go again. Just keep it simple, and the rest of your talent then comes into play. And I think sometimes you can get caught in a trap where you try and do too many difficult things to get yourself out of a hole, and you need a break, which he's had now, to come back with a refreshed mind, you know, body feeling well, with a different impetus. So I think that, you know, he's in a great place, Marcus, to go on and score goals this season.
Well, we think of that goal, and people will think of that goal certainly, that he scored against Manchester City, that absolute thunderbolt. Yeah. Obviously, you and I have been fortunate enough to be at team training every day this week, and he's been scoring an array of fantastic goals, hasn't he?
And he was on fire yesterday. You know, watching the finishing, and we were commenting on how well he hits the ball, you know, effortlessly with little backlift, and some of the 1v1s where he's beating people with ease again. That comes from a mentality. That comes from wanting to do it. It comes from being prepared to make a mistake, and then you find that you don't make many mistakes, and you get the desired outcome. So we just got to take that into the game. If you're playing tonight and he's playing on the left, get at your full back, get your shots away. Think about having end product to the things that you're doing. And listen, we all know he's got talent in abundance, and we want to see him out there smiling again.
We absolutely do. I caught up with Marcus a couple of days ago after training to learn a little bit more about the Marcus Rashford off the pitch. Marcus, we're back on tour. How's it been so far?
It's been good. I think training's been good. Obviously disappointed not to win the game, but I think we also got some valuable minutes against a good opposition. So, you know, 2 halves to take from the game, but we're obviously looking to win more games going forward.
You've been out here before, obviously at UCLA. Do you like it here? Do you like the facilities? Do you like the place? Do you like the environment? I mean, there's a massive butterfly going past. Might be a dragonfly.
Yeah, it's good. You know, it's always nice to come back here. I think they've got good facilities. We can get the work that we need to get done in the training sessions, and it's less of an injury risk as well. So yeah, definitely always good to come back here. It always seems to go so quickly once we get here, but yeah, it's been enjoyable.
What about the heat? How do you feel about that in the bike? Because you're running around.
It's better than training in England.
What did you think of the SoFi yesterday?
Say that again.
What did you think of the SoFi yesterday, the stadium?
Yeah, the stadium was nice. I think it was a nice stadium, nice atmosphere. And it's also good just to play in front of the fans that, you know, they don't get to go to Old Trafford week in, week out. So it's nice to be able to play in front of them.
You said it's nice to play in front of the fans. Away from football, what makes you smile?
Just generally just enjoying the things that I'm doing. I think that's as important as, you know, the football side of things, because if you're not enjoying yourself, then it's difficult to play, you know, your best on the pitch.
I saw a few years ago in an interview you said you like doing puzzles. Is that,
yeah, I do.
You still like a puzzle?
Yeah, I think more so when I'm in season. Doing puzzles and just little games to keep myself activated. I've got a couple at home that's waiting for me, so get started on them when I get back.
We're talking like landscapes or like just shapes? Is that a 3D one?
Yeah, I've tried a 3D one. It's hard though.
Is it?
It's tough. It takes longer. And plus, if my dog interrupts and starts eating pieces, I'm going to get more frustrated.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, I've only ever done one 3D one though. Most of them were just 1,000 piece.
What was the 3D that you managed?
I think it was a car.
That's shapely.
No, it was, like I said, it was hard. I almost gave up. I did. Yeah, I almost gave up, but it was my mum actually. She said if I don't finish it, then I've been beaten. So I had to finish it.
You did it?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, nice.
For about 3 weeks.
What are the games you mentioned that you like to play?
Do you know what? I'm a fan of like doing other sports, but in the season it's difficult to do so. But when I was younger, I liked to do a lot of other sports. I like tennis a lot. Bit of cricket if I'm batter.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I don't like fielding, but...
Whereabouts on the cricket pitch are you putting yourself?
Just batting. That's the only fun bit for me.
I always found cricket to be a very dull game.
Yeah, it is. Unless you're smacking it.
Yeah, fair enough. So, let's say you were a kid, you loved cricket, football, tennis. You had, I guess, dreams like we all did when we were children to play professionally. Looking back now to 15, 16, 13-year-old Marcus, what does it feel like?
I think as you get older, your dreams change as well. So, you know, in the beginning it was just about playing for Man United, and when you get there it's about winning. So I still have, you know, dreams of winning the big trophies, the Premier League and Champions League with Man United. So, you know, hopefully we can get that done.
Marcus, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looks like a really happy Marcus Rashford out on the pitch. You won't have seen it, but when they ran out, he actually ran across. He didn't see where we were, and he ran into the three of us, had a little chuckle. I've just seen him poke the ball through Christian Eriksen's legs. He ran up behind him. He's playing games. He's enjoying himself. Webbs, as a forward, puzzles, you into it?
I'm not into it, but you know what? It's really nice to hear something that's aside from football, aside from the exterior figure that people think of Marcus Rashford, just to hear what keeps him ticking, and you know, the fun side of it. It's nice to see him smile, and I want to see more of that on the football pitch.
Same then?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what you did away from football, Dan, but I used to play chess against the computer.
Yeah.
I played chess down at somebody on Venice Beach the other day, and game of lightning chess, and got beat.
Oh.
First time I played for a while, by the way, and he was an expert. But it's good. Danny's right. It's good to see him smile, because I think when you're relaxed, you enjoy your football a bit more, and the confidence comes out in you. And pre-season's a perfect time to do this, and when the weather's like this as well, by the way. Everything puts you in a good mood, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There must have been a part of your career where you were just winning a trophy every 6 months or so. Was it chess that you were turning to then, just to keep calm and not think about it?
I mean, listen, they've got other things these days that everybody's now, phones, games. There's other things that I think you probably need to go. When you play football, you only do it for 2 or 3 hours every day, so you can have a lot of spare time. I used to read quite a lot, but everybody's different, and it's good to see that he does them kind of puzzles, enjoys a bit of tennis. Didn't know he was a cricket fan, actually.
I didn't know that.
But yeah.
Well, a batting fan.
A batting fan, yeah. Well, he's a striker, you know. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Do all the batters get the best highlights?
It's boring when you're fielding, isn't it? When you're still waiting for things to happen.
Talk to me about the players that are starting this match. Are there players you're looking at and you're thinking, the likes of Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, even Casemiro? You look at, certainly Ahmad, and you go, this is maybe a chance to put a marker down to claim your place for next season, because we're going into this actually maybe more so than ever, where it's very difficult to say that person is obviously going to be starting there, because there's so much competition for places.
Well, I think when everybody's fit, then everybody's laying a marker down to start the season or start football matches. And, those three players, as you say, they're well experienced, but they're no different. As much as anything, it's a balance between getting your fitness right, getting your sharpness, putting in good performances, and just getting into good habits. And I think Harry's got a key role tonight as well. And we saw it the other day when we played against Arsenal, when he had young Harry next to him, Harry Amass. There was a lot of talking, and he was very vocal in helping young Harry Amass. So I'm looking forward to see that blossom.
Did you have that, Dan, when you first started playing football, that you had someone, maybe a centre-back next to you, just coaxing you through the first experiences of playing in front of crowds like this and playing against more experienced players?
You know what, you're going back quite a distance now, a few years ago, unfortunately, but they were... The players were predominantly English, Irish, Scottish and Welsh. And yeah, there was a lot more talking in the game. I think in general the game is quieter now. So the fact that Harry Amass has got Harry Maguire next to him will help him enormously in just guiding him where to go and whether to go forward, back, come in, go out. It's a learning curve, it really is. But it's great that the manager trusts him at left back. And yeah, I think it's great, and for Ahmed as well. We're saying that because you got Anthony, who's got competition there. You got Palestri, who was away and did really well for Uruguay in the Copa America. There's loads of competition up there, and you've got a chance to stamp your authority here, to show the manager what you've got and take it on because he finished the season really well last year, Ahmed. So this is another opportunity for him to push himself forward even more.
Well, it's always great to get the opinion of two former Reds, but I've been outside again. There's still lots of fans out there to find out what they think about today's game. Outside the Snapdragon, where fans are enjoying the sunshine and all of the activities that have been put on, including face painting. Devil's Trident. Are you getting your face painted?
Yes.
What are you having?
I'm having the Trident. That one.
Oh, perfect. Oh, look very nice. How long have you been a United fan?
Oh, since forever. I'm from Mexico, and soccer runs strong in my family. And my dad used to like Chicharito.
Of course, who didn't?
So, and I love Beckham.
Yeah. Who didn't?
Yeah, I know. So and that's my son, who has been a diehard fan too. So we went to the LA game, and we are from Houston. Every time they're in Houston, we go to the game. So looking forward for this awesome game.
Wonderful. Your mum's a woman of impeccable taste. Who signed your hat?
Brian Robson and Wes Brown.
That's amazing. What a great hat. I'm going to run away now. I don't know how, though. There's so many people. Okay, I'm going this way. You with me, Holly? Let's go. I'm going to just this guy with a bag. Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm okay. How you guys doing?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. What are you guys up to? What brought you here?
Speak to him. He's the fan.
I'm a huge fan. I was actually in Manchester like a month ago for my uncle's wedding. So we went to Old Trafford, the stadium tour. I got this scarf, this hat, this shirt, huge fan, so I asked my dad if he could take me to the game, and he said yeah. So we're here for that. I'm just really excited to see us play.
I feel bad taking it back because you did a wonderful job. What a great dad. It's very hot for a scarf.
It's worth it.
I agree. Make sure you drink some water, though. How are we all doing?
Good, how are we?
I'm fine, thank you. This is lovely, isn't it? What are we in a queue for here? I have no idea.
The FA Cup, obviously.
Gonna get a photo taken. I'll come to you. Gonna get a picture taken with the FA Cup.
Yes.
That's quite cool, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be brilliant.
Talk to me about the game. What are your hopes for this game? Because obviously it's Snapdragon Cup. We want to win it, but also we want players to have minutes in their legs and get fit. And
Yeah, I think the main thing is the youngsters. I mean, a lot of the first team stayed home, get some rest. They got to rest up for the first game, right?
No, they're here.
Well, but some of them.
Oh, you mean the ones that were in like the Euros and stuff that got to the later stages of the competition? Okay.
It'll be a good opportunity for the youngsters to get up and going. The academy players too. It'll be good.
It's going to be really good. You should be excited. Right, look, a bar. This is nice. Hello, mate. Great hat. I just saying it's a great hat.
No, thank you.
Yeah, fair enough. I can respect it. Great shirt. Is this original?
Yes.
Where did it come from?
My gosh, my girlfriend got it for me. I can't tell you.
What a superstar.
Yeah, right.
Where have you come from today?
Las Vegas.
It's not too far, but quite far. How long is that?
You know, we flew here, but typically a 5-hour drive. Yeah.
It's good commitment.
Yeah, no, for sure. Got to see the team, though.
What are you hoping to see when the game starts?
Honestly, I would love to see some young players out there on the field, get their minutes in, and honestly, just the camaraderie within the team come together before the season. So
awesome. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Right. Got the new shirt.
Yes.
What do we think of it?
It's all right, isn't it? It's nice. It's nice. Nice colour on it. Yeah, it's smart lad. Yeah.
You look great. Thank you very much. Okay, right, we'll do one more. This guy. Look at your sunglasses.
They're on my head.
Yeah.
What, you want my head?
There we go. You need to turn sideways so we can see tall sunglasses. That's not what I meant by turn sideways. So talk to me about the game. What are you hoping to see today?
Win, obviously. A win. I'd like to see some of the. I don't know if Bruno's back, but I'd like to see at least. I like to see Holland in action, along with a lot of some of the starters. Yeah, I'd like to see.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I know.
It's going to be a great lineup. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Yep. I want more attacking.
Mm-hmm.
I want the kind of our attackingness. Well, go forward.
You've come for goals, haven't you? You've come for goals.
Not really goals, just attacking. I want forward play.
Okay. Perfect.
Not defense, bunker and stuff, just forward play.
Do you know this person who's filming us?
No, I don't know her. She just likes me a lot.
Okay, fair enough. Right, now, one thing about Manchester United is we have the opportunity to help a lot of people. So we went down to a deprived area in Compton to find some wonderful people who are doing an awful lot of good in their community and making sure children there have every opportunity at their disposal.
I just want to introduce everybody to Wes, and he just wanted to come say what's up. So this is Wes. He's from Manchester United Soccer Club.
So we've got obviously something for you as well.
Got some lucky hats for the homies. Everybody want one? Yeah. Everybody gets one.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Thursday.
Oh, so we got the first round. That's what's up. I like this. Randy Savvy. You had to put the Savvy on that. Again, gas pedals in your heels, so you squeeze to go. Like that. Yeah, that's usually what happens with the kids. Imagine the kids. They take the handbrake off. They get the first lesson and they went, oh, good. Take care of them. They don't get too hot. They don't get too cold. They're very resilient animals. They adapt. Let's say thank you, Manchester United. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Manchester United! Hold on. We ain't done. On the count of 4, we're going to say thank you, Wes Brown. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you, Wes Brown!
So those amazing people were the Compton Cowboys. If you want to know a bit more about them, then get on your phone or computer and look them up. They really are doing some wonderful things. Speaking of wonderful things, we just saw Brian Robson get absolutely soaked by a sprinkler.
Brilliant.
It was really enjoyable.
Brilliant.
Talk to me about Ahmad, Danny. He, at the end of last season, became so important for us, and everybody was clamouring for him to start, and he scored that goal against Liverpool, and he was a really important part of our run-in.
He was. I think when we're going through a tough time, he brought a freshness to the team. Obviously, his goal against Liverpool was important in getting through in the FA Cup, and then he just brought, like I say, a freshness, a real exuberance to the front line. And I want to see more from him. He's got goals in the locker. We've seen him. We did it at Sunderland, went on loan, did a year there, and Championship's a tough league. So for him to go there and perform the way he did, I think unfortunately last season at the beginning he got injured, didn't he, Den? And then he managed to find a rhythm. So how difficult would he be to play against, Den, as a fullback? Yeah,
I mean, you know what he wants to do, but when you come up against him, he's that quick he can go the other way as well. So he would be really, really difficult. I know. Going back to his time at Sunderland, Gary Pallister's pal Tony Mowbray was in charge, and he loved him. Yeah, he loved his work ethic, which will help here because our manager expects our wingers to work really hard. But he's got that kind of ability that can get you off the seat a little bit. He excites you a little bit. He's one of these that you just don't know quite what he's going to do, even though you think he might try to cut in. And as Danny said, there's goals in his game. There is goals in his game, because the one thing that's lacked in our team, I suppose, in the last 3, 4, 5 years is the number of goals. Yeah. And we need our wingers, when they play, to chip in with a volume of goals, and he can do that.
So by number of goals, do you mean distribution? So it's not all on... So obviously there was the 2 seasons ago, Marcus had that incredible season, but it was all on him. Is it you want more players chipping in with more goals?
I think you do. I think your front three should be... If you're being... you're looking from an outside in, you're saying, OK, your 2 wide men should be getting 15 goals. Your front, your number 9 should be getting 25 goals. And then obviously the assists that come with that, punch the numbers as well. But you definitely need goals. You need options. And if you look at all the teams that have been successful over the last few years, they're getting goals from their front three and in the midfield.
I just want to draw your attention. Can you see that aeroplane? So I believe there's some parachuters, look, up there. They've just jumped out the aeroplane, and I think one of them is carrying the match ball, and they're going to land on the pitch and drop the match ball on the pitch. I think that's the plan here. I don't know which one has the ball, but that's what's happening.
Hey, wouldn't surprise me if it's Wes. He's on a board.
He gets around.
He might as well.
Yeah, it must be that one where there's 2 people. So they're going to bring the ball in. We're also not far away from the national anthem. It looks like the American flag is at the Star Spangled Banner is about to be draped over the pitch. Then do you like all this pageantry?
It's part and parcel over here. You come to expect it. I was fortunate enough to go to a baseball game last night, and it's the same kind of build-up. It's a happy, bubbly, I suppose the surroundings and environment help that, and the weather, but it's happily bubbly, and it's just part and parcel of the national anthem. They're very patriotic here, Danny, as we know.
Yeah.
Danny, you ever seen anything like this, though? The ball being dropped in by a skydiver?
I've never seen anything like this. I've played in 1 or 2 teams that kick the ball that high and you look throughout the sky. Yeah. But no, never seen the ball come out the sky delivered by a Navy SEAL. Never.
Do you think it's a good thing that the players are in the dressing room and don't have to think about all of this? They can just focus on the game? Because here it comes.
Of course.
Here we go.
Let's see how accurate he is. Done ever so well.
What I didn't expect to be doing was commentating on someone parachuting down onto the pitch, but here we are. They're all coming.
A few of them.
Wow.
That's a spectacle, isn't it?
Great landing.
So, Den, I think the plan is for you to do that in South Carolina.
I'm already booked to do something else, actually. Give it a no, but it's as I said, it's the build-up here. They like doing these kind of things. It's an open-air stadium, plenty of space to drop in. Spectacular, though, really is.
It's really special. Would you do it? Would you do it, Den?
You asking me?
I'm asking if you would, just if you would skydive, I suppose.
I've jumped off a mountain, but I think I'm getting too old to be doing these kind of things.
Webbs, what about you? Why did you jump off a mountain?
We did a pre-season once in Rio. A diving thing and
like a paragliding.
Yeah, paragliding.
As like a team bonding activity?
No, the manager didn't know. He knows now.
Okay.
He knows now.
Here you go. The ball's coming in with these ones, I think. It looks like he's carrying something. It's hard to tell from down here. So, did the manager find out?
No. Oh, no.
Sort of in the midst of watching Navy SEALs land here in San Diego and trying to get a story out of you where you and your teammates have crept off to jump off a mountain and not have Sir Alex Ferguson find out.
Yeah. No, there was about 6 of us did it. And
name and shame them.
I won't, but it's just when you look back at it, you know, probably wasn't the right thing to do, but it was good fun. I know that.
Scary?
It was initially, because when you actually the fella, who obviously you're with, tells you keep running, and even you into open air, he says keep running, and you dip before you get the wind. That's the scariest bit.
Here we go. We've got the ball.
That's incredible. Here we go. Here we go.
That's a smooth landing.
That's a good landing. The guy we didn't see, I just turned around and he had a bit of a rough landing, to be fair.
Yeah, he slid in.
Yeah.
I've never seen a match ball delivered quite so excitedly.
It's brilliant. It's great technique.
Right, we are, of course, closing in on kickoff. And again, at some point, I might have to cut you off if you're answering a question, because the national anthem is going to start very soon. But how important is it to get a win today?
I think it's important, you know, put it in context, it's pre-season, but it's important to get into winning habits. It really is. So whilst it's not the end of the world, it is an important factor in us building towards the start of the season.
I just wanted a quick reminder for anybody, if you're watching this on YouTube or possibly Facebook, you won't see the game. You have to subscribe to MUTV, and there's a link in the description to where you're watching. Click on that, you can get yourself subscribed.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so I'll be quiet now because we're going to have the national anthem.
As we welcome Staff Sergeant Adam Chandler from the United States Marine Corps and Marine Navy. As I perform the national anthem of the United States of America.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
There you go. That was nice. We are now going to pass over to your match day commentators as we watch these helicopters come in. There they are. Can you hear them, Dan?
Yeah, I can see them now.
Yeah, so not far from kickoff. Just before we give you to Liam and Ben, Danny, just quickly, you were talking about how important it is to get the win.
Yeah, it is important to get the win. That's exactly what Eric Ten Hag will be saying to the team. Go out there, get your fitness right. Tell us if you've got any niggles, but let's try and win this football match and get into good habits.
Ben, are you loving this? I can see you watching.
Yeah, no, it's incredible, really. Listen, I'm going to echo what Danny says. Getting through the game, you know, get fitness in your belt, no injuries. But winning's always important because it breeds confidence.
OK, right, we're going to hand back to Old Trafford. We're going to hand over to Old Trafford for Liam Bradford and Ben Thornley.
Thanks very much, Sam. Yeah, nobody does a little bit of pre-match pageantry just like the Americans do. So we've had skydivers, we've had military helicopters, we've had the national anthem, and now we are just about ready to get things started between Manchester United and Real Betis, the two teams heading out of the tunnel at Snapdragon Stadium. Ben, this game... more of the preparation that Manchester United need ready for the start of the season, and this is a really good test against a decent Spanish side.
Yeah, a decent Spanish side with a sprinkling of players that have appeared in the Premier League as well. Finished 7, so yeah, it'll be a decent test this, and hopefully Manchester United, their fitness will start to improve as we're coming into the 4th game now, and they'll be disappointed. I know results don't mean that much, but it is important to start getting into good habits and winning games the closer you get towards the start of the season.
A couple of little changes, and we'll take you through the team in just a second, but Manchester United have obviously just made a little bit of a switch up. Do you expect Jadon Sancho, who comes into the side, to play off the left or through the middle?
Well, if you look at all 3 of them, Sancho, Ahmad and Marcus Rashford, they can and have all had spells of playing through the middle. We think it might be Marcus, but there's every chance that it could be Jadon Sancho that starts there. We'll just have to wait and see.
We certainly will. So teams have shaken hands, and we are just moments away from getting the game underway, probably about the time to take you through the two sides as they go through all of their pre-match preparations. Marcus Rashford in your picture there. Played the killer pass, didn't he, for Rasmus Højlund to latch onto the end of. Right, let's take you through the teams. Manchester United against Real Betis. There is your Manchester United side. Pictures being taken. Let's start with the goalkeeper, shall we? Manchester United change in between the sticks as Tom Heaton comes in. That back 4 from left to right will be Harry Amas, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. McTominay and Casemiro will hold the midfield. Sancho, Eriksen, Ahmad and Marcus Rashford, the front 4 for Manchester United. In terms of Real Betis, Rui Silva in goal, back 4, Hector Bellerin, Diego Llorente, Mendy and Perro, Ruibal, Altamira, Roca and Rodri, Losada behind Avila up front. So, going through the toss, we're just trying to figure out exactly who's going to play from which end and who's going to kick off. And you can see Manuel Pellegrini, former Manchester City manager, who has a rather even record against Manchester United. Played 15, won 5, drawn 5, lost 5.
Yeah, it doesn't normally work out like that, does it? But a decent guy, I thought, when he was in the Premier League. Obviously, we know that he managed Manchester City, but always came across as quite a humble character and always, spoke well in his interviews. Right then,
we are almost ready to get things underway. Look at that. Snapdragon Stadium looks absolutely stunning in the San Diego sunshine, doesn't it? Show you these teams if we possibly can. We will start with Manchester United. Here we go. Tom Heaton in goal. Harry Amas, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. A couple of changes for United. Lindelof being one of those, replacing the injured Lenny Yoro. McTominay comes in alongside Casemiro, who captains the side in the second of the changes. Then Sancho in on the left, Ahmad right, Eriksen behind Rashford. But as we've spoken about, that could easily be Sancho in the false 9 and Marcus Rashford out to the left-hand side. We will wait and see as the game gets underway for Erik ten Hag's side. In terms of Real Betis, we're expecting a 4-4-1-1 for them. So it will be Rui Silva in goal, change from the game against Liverpool, where Adrian started between the sticks. Perro, formerly of Southampton, on the left-hand side. Mendy, Llorente, formerly of Leeds, the other centre-half. And Hector Bellerin, the ex-Arsenal fullback, plays right-hand side. Rodri, not that one. Roca, Altamira and Ruibal in midfield. And then Losada behind the out-and-out striker, Chimi Avila, up front for Manuel Pellegrini's side. And you're right, Ben, there are some players in there that we know about, the likes of Roman Perro, the likes of Hector Bellerin, the likes of Diego Llorente. We've seen them all, we know what they're about, and Manchester United will be aware of the dangers that they have.
Yeah, they will, and the one that probably is more prominent than anything else was Pablo Fornals. because he's played more times against Manchester United than he has any other Premier League side. He's obviously on the bench, and Isco obviously not here on the tour at all because through injury.
Yeah, a couple of players that we were kind of anticipating seeing that aren't in this Real Betis side as we are underway at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. And it is Betis that get us started. Immediately out wide to the left-hand side, and United will want to make as good a start as they did against Arsenal just a couple of days back. Of course, another game coming up against Liverpool at the weekend. You'll be able to listen to that one too on MUTV, watching all of the pre-season with us here on the Manchester United website, NAP, and of course on your TV. Harry Amas can't quite bring that under control. We'll try and give you an idea of all of these players that you might not be too familiar with. There is really only one in the Manchester United starting 11 today that you won't have heard of, and that's Harry Amas, who was just on the ball there, playing at left-back. Youngster, joined Manchester United at the start of last season. Really vital cog in the machine that won so much silverware with the under-18s last season, won the league, won the playoff, won the Premier League Cup. They were absolutely fantastic, but yeah, really only one youngster in this starting 11 for Manchester United today.
Yeah, came from Watford, I remember, and both him and Sam Murray, who obviously started the game against Arsenal, have looked very, very comfortable in a position that was problematic for us last season with the injuries to both Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia, and it's great for Erik ten Hag that he's got players here that have proved that they can compete at this sort of a level, and that is what pre-season is obviously used for people to get their fitness in for the full season, but also so that managers and coaches can see the mentality of some of the younger players that they bring through.
Good running from Jadon Sancho down the right-hand side there for Manchester United, and as Ben sort of hinted at, there is a real sort of overlap, an ability to switch and change. Lovely footwork from Ahmad. Casemiro comes across to Rashford, gets it back from Eriksen. Amas wide left-hand side, but Rashford spots a gap and then gives it to Amas, who tries to return the favour, then does brilliantly to make the challenge. Amas to the byline, tries to get the cross in and wins the corner. Well, makes the mistake to not get it back to Rashford, but works really hard to win it back.
Yeah, something, tenacity, that's what they'll be looking for as well. And how quickly you can get the ball back when you inevitably give it away. And just because he's a youngster, experienced players do that, but it's how you recover from that. And he tried to play the pass down the outside when he really needed to thread it back inside the full-back to Marcus.
So, first corner of the game going to be delivered by